Today we're going to talk about, the Great Depression. Let it load up here. It's kind of a little slow. So we're going to talk about the Great Depression today. Since we talked about the Spanish flu last couple days ago, we are going to talk about the Great Depression, which happened about 5-10 years later. And that'll be okay. There we go. Let the thing get loaded up here. Get my pointer. Whoa. It's really bogging down right now. Whoa. I don't know if this will be able to. Alright, let's see. So the Great Depression. The stock market crashed. Actually, this lasted from 1929 to 1939. So the stock market crashed badly. Didn't realize the effect it would have. No money to replenish what was borrowed. Many found being broke humiliating. So people are just on the side of the streets because they just didn't know what to do. So the Roaring '20s. So the new concept of credit. People were buying automobiles, appliances, clothes. Fun times were dancing, flappers, and drinking. Why was this bad? So why did we have the Great Depression? People didn't really have the money they were spending. The U.S. was a major credit loaner to other nations in need for World War I. Many of these nations could not pay back because they just spent it all, or lost it all, or got taken by other countries. Interest rates on loans were too low. Too much borrowing. Interest rates on savings were too low. Too much spending, inflation, excessive real estate construction, oversupply. So that just equals all that. Time payments began in the 20s. So maybe. There we go. Causes of depression: buying on credit, borrowing money, 80 to 60. So don't write that down. I don't know why that's there. Wealth is distributed unevenly. Corporate profits rose 65% during the 20s. The rich became much richer, and the workers became less poor. So here's the salaries for a bus driver. No power steering or brakes. It was $1,300 a year, or 43 cents an hour. A teacher was $1,227 a year. A waitress was 20 cents an hour. A farmhand was 7 cents an hour. First minimum wage was 25 cents. The highest paid production workers were from the Ford Motor Company, $5 a day, or 48 cents an hour. That was really good money then. That was really good money. Farm prices: potatoes, cotton, pork, 1 cent per pound for potatoes, 5 cents a pound for cotton, and 5 cents a pound for pork. Okay, come on. Uneven distribution of wealth. Many poor and very few rich. Workers earn so little that they can buy the products they produce. Wages were as low as 20 to 25 cents an hour. wages. Even the best employer, Ford Motor Company, paid only $5 a day from 6 to 6 shift. So 12-hour day, you only got paid $5 the entire day. So now we got causes of depression. Goes to this, to this, to this. The stock markets. If a stock is 100, you can pay 10 now and the rest later when the stock rose. Stocks fall, now the person is less than $100 and no money to pay back. So, and then people, without panicking about their money, investors try to sell their stocks to make money. This led to a huge decline in stocks. Stocks were worthless now. People who bought on margins now could not pay. Investors were average people that were now broke. So, I mean, you bought stocks and you kept them. But during this time, you had to sell them because otherwise you're going to lose a ton of money. So now you got all these things going towards depression. What about the people? Farmers were already feeling the effects. Prices of crop went way down. Many farmers foreclosed, so that means they just ended. People could not afford luxuries. Factories shut down, business went out, banks could not pay out money, people could not pay their taxes. Schools shut down due to lack of funds. Many families became homeless and had to live in shanties. So more like tents and stuff like that. Agriculture production, increased technology, good growing conditions, supply greater than demand. So that's what you want. The Great Dust Bowl. So there was a Great Dust Bowl that came through them. Overuse and overgrazing, no crop rotation, no soil conservation, no windbreaks, loss of natural gases and animals, climate change, the drought of the 30s. So now you got all of these equaling the cause of the depression here. So, yeah. So the over-speculation, get-rich-quick syndrome, margin buying, lack of government regulation, panic selling, and 29 market crash. So, Black Friday, October 1929. That's kind of funny. You got all these people because they had all this. They had businesses needed money then, so they decide I'm going to go for it. And then the New York Stock Exchange that happened on October 24th, 1929, on Black Friday. Here we go. So the Great Depression lasted for a couple years. So the crisis in confidence frightened depositors who feared for their money. Millions tried to withdraw their money because they feared the banks losing it. 1929, 641 banks failed. 1930, the next year, 1,350 banks failed. The next year, 1931, 1,700 banks failed. So we kept losing them. So those are all the causes. You got the bank collapse, the agriculture, overproduction, uneven distribution of wealth, buying on credit, and stock speculation. And President Hoover was president during that time. His philosophy was, we'll make it. What he did? Nothing. Because he couldn't really do anything. The poor were looking for help and had no ideas on how to correct or help were coming. And that doesn't make sense. I should have fixed that. Prior to the Great Depression, the U.S. government ignored the business cycles of the U.S. economy. Government until the FDR believed that the American economy could fix itself. And it did after 2 or 3 years. Presidents win or lose elections based on economic performance. Government control over 1/3 of our $10 trillion economy, which is actually way higher now. The business cycle, high demand, desire for more profits equals greater investment equals more production equals higher employment equals more demand equals higher prices, inflation. So the boom prosperity period. So all of a sudden we came from a recession, depression to a prosperity, which means we are in the high times. Money was just filling right back in. This is what happens when it slows down. Less production, layoffs, less spending, lower confidence, less investment, and higher unemployment until surpluses are used up. Recession is 2 successive 1/4, 3 months period or declining GDP of government, consumer, and business spending. Depression is unemployment greater than 12%, which I think we actually did have a depression for this coronavirus in April, because I think our unemployment rate made up to like 15%, I think, so something like that. The recovery equals surplus reduction, more production, recall of workers, more purchasing, increased investments, economic growth. Federal Reserve increased interest rates, which made money borrowing more expensive and saving more attractive, instead of lowering interest rates to give the economy a jump start. So the Federal Reserve was trying to help the economy into getting back. Hoover admission and Congress cut spending and raised taxes to balance the budget instead of increasing spending and cutting taxes to jumpstart the economy. Temporary deficient spending, so that's an example. So here's how it works. You got the market, then you got the business, then you got the product produced, the product market, and then it goes to the households. But then the red, it goes from the households to the product, to resource, to business. Or it goes the other way. I don't know. These arrows are kind of messed up. Should have fixed that. Oh, there we go. So they're all going different ways. They all go in different cycles. High tariffs. We tax foreign imports to protect our products under Hoover. The Hawley Smooth tariff is passed, the highest productive tariff in the U.S. history. Foreign nations tax imports from the U.S. and the retaliation. Higher prices fed under consumption. Nations stop paying World War I debts. The U.S. to the U.S. and the two's over there for some reason. It's right there. I don't know why. So here we go. Here's all the causes of the depression. Here's some pictures. It's like there's a homeless family. There's some people, it's like maybe getting unemployed. Some more people. And it's like at a house. Here's Christmas Day in New York City. You got people lying down the street trying to get stuff. Because that's when the economy started going back up again. Here's the World Exchange Bank. There's unemployed men trying for jobs at the American Legion, Unemployment Bureau in Los Angeles during the Great Depression, because they're trying to get their jobs back. Get this out of the way. Here's unemployment workers in front of a shack with Christmas tree, East 12th Street, New York City, December 1937. Bring that. Where's the camera at? Oh, where'd it go? Oh, there's another one. about that. We'll keep going. So here's the unemployment. Looks like it made it up to about 25% and dropped and went back up again. Here's some times. Man hobo jungle killing turtle to make soup because he didn't have food. By the early 1930s, approximately 25% of the nation was unemployed. Here's the marriage and birth rates dropped during that time. There's a family on the streets. There's a bunch of homeless people out there. Homeless families built shacks out of wooden crates and scrap metal. These shacks were known as Hoovervilles. Here's Central Park in New York City. You got some more shacks out there. There we are. Got some more shacks out there. Here's in Arkansas. Another one. Here's Hooverville, New York City, December 8th. Signs on shack reads House of Unemployed. Here's Hoover taking action, feeding everyone. So he's feeding all the children because their families couldn't afford anything. And then he asked the YMCA to help. Many waited in unemployment lines hoping for a job. So people in cities would wait in line for bread to bring to their family because there was such a shortage of everything. The world's highest standard of living. People lining the streets there. Some families were forced to relocate because they had no money. Hooverview. There's some pictures of people in shacks. There's some shacks getting burnt down. There's the South and the Dust Bowl. Remember people talking about that. Homes were buried. It was so dry out there that you literally could not. If something blew, it was going to go away. It was that dry out there. There's some more pictures of some dust that's just covered everything. There's a tractor right there. It's just buried. A home. And there's this dust storm there. These are some families living in their portable shacks. They're selling stuff because they couldn't afford anything. And they're trying to make money by selling baskets that they created. When he was in grade, unemployment had increased by 7 million. Poor sections like Harlem had 50% of the population unemployed instead of the New Deal. So people everywhere were affected by the Depression. It was until President Roosevelt took over and tried to put the economy back together that people even saw a glimmer of hope. To Kill a Mockingbird. So Jim Crow laws, Scottsboro trials recovering from the Great Depression, all that stuff. Jim Crow laws. You got all those. It's until the 1950s. Another African Americans, Scottsboro trials. So we got more trials amongst the black community. Let's see here. We're about there. Seeing how much more we had left, but we're real close. So this is just stuff that all really happened during this time. You got Harper Lee. He wrote that. during this time. I don't know why this is in here. Okay, that's enough. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed this and I hope you learned something. And hopefully, you have a good rest of your day.